Okay, welcome everyone. This is Joby from Pure Podcast. We are with Amanda today. Amanda from Agape Holistic Healing. She has her own very own podcast. I was on her podcast the other week, the Calm CEO. So it's now my turn to repay the favor. We had an amazing chat about breathwork, spinal energetics, energy healing. So Amanda really comes from the spinal energetics background, energy healing, bringing breath work. She's a somatic breathwork practitioner. She is incredible at what she does, and she's helping so many people. And her videos and everything she does on Instagram is very, very inspiring, which is why I connected with her in the first place, because it just captivated me and I loved watching her really get results for her clients. So we're going to delve into that today. We're going to go into what she does, how Amanda really gets results for her clients, how she can help you. And we're going to hear a little bit about her life story as well. So I'm super excited to have you on the podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for
How are you
having
doing?
me.
How are
I'm
you
good.
doing? Are you
Yeah,
good?
I'm good. I'm good. It's Friday. The weather is nice
It's
today.
Friday again.
Yeah.
It's Friday again.
Yes.
It's like
Again. Yeah.
the universe is speeding up. It's going so quick at the moment. It's
I
like it was
know.
only
I know.
Friday yesterday.
Yeah. It's like, how is it May already? I'm like,
I
what is
know. All of a
going
sudden,
on?
once this weekend's over, it's like, hold on, we're really rolling into May. It's
Oh,
crazy.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
May
Yeah.
already.
I'm all for it. I'm ready for summer. I'm so ready for summer.
Well, to be
Bring
fair,
it.
in England right now, it is absolutely pouring down the rain. It hasn't
Is it
stopped
really?
raining. It's so wet. It's the wettest what May and April have had for a long time. But
Mm.
I think we should do some weather control.
Here, I'm sending some sunshine your way. Here you go.
Yeah, do some weather control, no problem. But tell us a little bit for those that don't know you. Um, Tell us a little bit about the Agape holistic well-being and the Agape, is it Agape holistic well-being?
Yes,
Yes,
Agape Holistic Healing.
healing. Sorry.
So yeah, that's my company. Agape means unconditional love in Greek. It's actually also the name or meaning of my name, Amanda. And yeah, I live here, Colorado, and I've been a spinal energetics practitioner for just over a year now. The work is still very new. It's only a couple years old. And before that, I was coaching in the business space, fitness and nutrition before that. And yeah, I got into this space because after coaching thousands of other online coaches and entrepreneurs and fitness coaches and you name it in the online space, there was a gap. There was a gap between why somebody could absolutely crush it in the space, making 10, 20, 100K months, and why somebody over here was doing the exact same strategy and still struggling despite the strategy, despite the mindset, despite doing all the work and the affirmations and the therapy, they were still struggling. And I was like, there has to be something else here. And that's when I discovered somatic healing, energy healing, which led me into the most profound work that just lights my soul up with spinal energetics, which is all about getting into the body, mind, body, soul. It's a whole, it really encompasses everything, somatics, right? And getting to the root of where limiting beliefs are coming from, getting to the root of why somebody feels stuck in business. And, I don't just work with entrepreneurs, I work with really anybody who's looking to dissolve stress, trauma, pain in the body and allowing them to release that in a way where they feel safe. And then through that work, then they have the capacity, because you remove something, now you have the space to expand your energy, to receive more, to match your frequency to success, and actually like really live your life from a place of ease and calm and pleasure. So yeah, that's what I do.
Amazing, amazing. Let's delve deeper into this because I find this fascinating. You're saying you got two people doing the same thing, same strategies, mindset. One's getting 100 grand a month, one's
Mhm.
getting nothing, right?
Yeah.
Or hardly anything. This always fascinates me. This always gets me why?
Hmm.
What's going on in the body? What's going on in the mind? What's going on in the subconscious to block that? And
Yeah.
what are you doing to unlock that with your clients? Because I could listen to this all day. I find it beautiful.
Yeah, so it's going to be different for everybody. It just depends on their blueprint, their imprint, the life experiences. Everybody's been through something different. And so really it's about peeling back those layers where their body is in essentially this defense feedback loop with their nervous system, right? So, for example, a common one in the industry, in the business space, is, feeling like you have to work harder to make more money. There's that limiting belief. And a lot of times, at least for me personally, that stemmed from childhood where there was an imprint of how I was raised. My father was working nonstop as a doctor, just hardly ever home. And then my mom actually had 10 kids. And so I was just,
Wow.
go, 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 go. And I'm the second oldest of 10 kids. And I was the
10
second
kids.
mother.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I developed this belief at such a young age that just after witnessing my parents, the harder I worked, the more money I would make, or the harder I worked or the more money I'd make equaled how loved I would be, because the only affection I would get usually from my parents is when I got that straight A in school or when the house was clean. And it just developed so much of this anxiety within me that carried over into business. And so with this work, when it comes to entrepreneurs, I've been the entrepreneur where I've made six-figure months before. My last business was incredibly successful. So you can 100% still have a crazy successful business, but do you really want to be running the successful business from a place of burnout, from a place of anxiety and constant fear of failure and even constant fear of success and all of these things and the people pleasing and the perfectionism? And for me, it was exhausting. I was overwhelmed. I was stressed out nonstop. And because of that, I kind of hit rock bottom with my business and things just shut down completely. And I just remember somebody did a reading on me, and the healer was like, your guides are saying, Amanda, they're sorry they had to do this, but it was the only way to get you to listen. And I was like, listen to what? And so I learned that there was so much more to life, and I had no idea I was actually running business from a dysregulated nervous system. And that is what embarked me down this deep healing journey of really learning what it means to feel safe in my body and allow that. And to answer your question, I was going
Beautiful.
down a little rabbit hole
It's
there,
good. It's good.
but
Open up. I like it.
yes,
Let it
yes.
flow. It's beautiful.
Hmm. Yeah. So really to into that deep, deep somatic work to peel back those layers, it's all about getting to the root, right? It's not the strategy, it's not the mindset, it's not the therapy. Those are all from the body, or from it's a head down approach, right? If you're working from the body up, then you're able to get into a deep cellular level of what your body is wired to think or believe. It's what's been imprinted on you, which usually comes from a past life experience. And I take my clients through a 3-step process. So number one, it's all about clearing. You have to clear out the unwanted patterns. And oftentimes that is expressed through movement, through emotional release, through sound. It's very similar to breathwork in a way with spinal energetics. You have to clear those things out. If you really want to get scientific on this, you're really talking about the nervous system here. Your nervous system was wired from a past trauma to think that in order to survive, it has to hold on to these beliefs to protect you. And so that's been wired, and why people may feel stuck despite trying everything. And so the key is to go back in and finish that nervous system defense feedback loop through expression. And sometimes people have an internal process. Things can still shift on a cellular level when you do spinal energetics, which is all about releasing that stored tension in your body. So once you go through step one with the clearing process, then you can create, you can connect, right? So step one is clearing, step two is connect, right? You can connect to your higher self, your true essence, your soul, your higher self. And you have the space, you have the room to allow higher frequencies to now come through and remember who you are. Healing work isn't about changing who you are. It's about remembering who you are deep down once you remove those layers of the onion so that you can really begin to shine. And that's when I see entrepreneurs really begin to quantum leap in business from a place of ease, from a place of pleasure, because they're in complete alignment. They're in flow with themselves and what feels best to them. And this is where you get to really create in business, or just create the life of your dreams, because you are operating from this higher state. So that's essentially what it looks like from like a bird's eye view of what we're doing on an internal deep somatic process layer to allow people to remove those layers so that they can succeed in business and be radically successful.
I love that. That is a very, very powerful way to start this podcast. we have so many things on there that we can delve into. It's beautiful. The nervous system, the looping. Let's go into this. Because this is, I find it's fascinating, and I love hearing how other people perceive this as well. So for my listeners, let's go into the nervous system. What happens in a spinal energetics session, or when you're doing your sessions, to the nervous system? What is the main thing? Because obviously you're not doing anything to the person, right? So how is the person? If someone's listening and goes, I've heard about spinal energetics, I've seen a little bit, I've seen Dr. Sarah putting all over videos all over the internet. So people are starting to become aware, like she's everywhere right now, right? Her videos are going viral, and same with yourself. All your videos are really getting a lot of attention. So people are just starting to see, and it's a new modality. When something's new, it's always better experienced than explained, isn't it? So let's delve into that a little bit and delve into that feedback loop as well. How we can change it. What do we have to do? Is there anything we have to do in our life to change it, or can it only happen in a session?
Oh, you could totally change it in your life, but most people don't know how to, right? Most people don't know how to really enter that altered state of consciousness, that place of safety where the healing will happen. It's so spinal energetics, obviously we're working with the spine, we're working with your nervous system, your physical body, your energetic field. Your spine is really the vault to the doorway to accessing the release of tension being stored in your body. It's kind of like acupuncture, where you like kind of put the needles in and you can find the tension patterns and release them. Spinal energetics, we're able to find those patterns within the body just by simply doing an assessment and then activating and giving the body permission to release it. But how does the body know to do that? So we all have innate wisdom. We have this intelligence that resides within each and every one of us. It's the same wisdom. If you've done breath work with Joby here, like, you will know it's very similar feeling. I've done breath work, I've done spinal energetics. To me, they feel very similar in a way where So your innate intelligence is the same wisdom that pumps your heart, heals a cut, digests your food. It just does it without you consciously thinking about it, right? It's that same intelligence that also knows how to heal you, knows how to heal the trauma, the emotions that are stuck within your system. And so, really, through the work, it's giving the body permission to now release that. And a lot of times it is released. You'll see the videos on my social media accounts or Dr. Sarah Jane's account of people moving on the table. And yeah, people think it's us doing it to them, but really it's them. And we're just guiding them. We're giving them an invitation to show them how to release that and complete that defense feedback loop through that expression, to release it. So oftentimes that can look like shaking of the body. It can look like stretching, yoga moves, crying, getting angry, feeling joy. A lot of people can't remember the last time they felt joy, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that the work is what really dives in, and yeah, it gets to the nitty gritty. It removes the layers. We're kind of like an onion, right? We've been through all these experiences. We're peeling back one layer at a time to get back to the true you. And no two experiences are actually ever the same. And the no two integrations are ever the same. Usually after a session, that's 50% of the work on the table. The other 50% is the next 72 hours, sometimes more, sometimes less. And so, yeah, a lot of shifts begin to happen internally, and people will notice, almost immediately right after a session, the shifts happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Even with my very first session, I could really feel a difference.
Yeah.
And the connection, and I love the fact that it's not just there on the table. It's still work. Your body's still working after. Same as in breath work, same as a lot of energy healing. It's like that integration part is one of the is main part of it as well.
Oh my gosh, it's huge. It's so big. The integration, people expect these quick fixes or expect to feel better right away. But the thing with healing, with this type of work, is to understand, like, sometimes it can get worse before it gets better. And so it's something that is very important for me to communicate with my clients, is that, you could wake up tomorrow and feel like you got hit by a train. Or you could wake up feeling like you want to, punch somebody in the face, right? What we
That's never a
do.
nice one. That's never a nice one.
Yeah, maybe go.
That's never no.
Yeah, maybe do a boxing class or something like that.
Not that feeling, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anger is a very common response for so many people in today's society, especially with women. And, with men, I see more and more men crying. And it's such a beautiful thing to witness, because it's, we're not putting a label on it, or, telling people you can't do this or you can't do that, or this is how you should respond. It's like, this is what the body is like made to do. It's been around for billions of years. Like, humans are supposed to shake things off, but we shove it down instead.
Yeah, we suppress it, put it all deep down into the cellular memory. Just and when it all comes,
Yes.
it's like
yeah. And then that manifests, because the energy has to go somewhere. Then it manifests into pain in the body, or anxiety, or depression, and ADHD, and all these other things. And yeah, and it's your body's way of communicating with you what has been left unhealed. And it's an opportunity, in my opinion, to really see what
it's quite nice. Absolutely. And it's quite nice. Sometimes it's like, not putting a label on the trauma or the emotion, and just allowing it to flow is a very, I find that a really nice process as well. Okay, cool. We know there's trauma there, but same as we spoke about on your podcast, is in a breathwork session or in a Spinal Energetics, you expect the unexpected as well, right?
Yeah.
We just don't know what the innate is going,
No.
okay, cool. The innate goes,
Yeah.
okay, cool. We want to get rid of that now. It
Yeah.
might be
Oh
something
gosh.
completely different than we started on.
Yeah, I never know going into a session like how their body's gonna respond or what they're gonna want to communicate with me. And I mean that's part of being a practitioner is just kind of understanding of what's going on in that present moment and allowing them and guiding them to release that. And usually you could see that as a practitioner. I'm sure you see this too in breath work, where you could see where it's getting stuck through like little skips in the breath, or
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
yeah, they're holding their breath. With
It's like,
oh,
it
sorry.
pause, it's like pause comes in, doesn't it? It's like,
Yes. Yep.
okay, something's happened. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And their
Yeah.
face is like,
What's going on here? Yeah. You never know. Like, no two sessions are ever the same. I've had people like move their first session and then their second session, they don't move at all. Or I have them shake and scream and cry on, the third session. And yeah, it just depends on what layer you're working through.
yeah, absolutely. It's quite funny. I did a training day with a couple of my students last weekend, and I had two of my girls literally laying next to each other, did exactly the same breath. Okay. We was
Uh-huh.
practically in unison. They was like, it was beautiful. But it was like yin and yang. And I was laying head and top and tail as well, right? And
Uh-huh.
it was just so funny because it was like one of them was just her trauma release was laughter, and the other was crying. It was like completely
Mm-hmm.
different opposites for each other, but they was like laying in a yin
Yeah.
yang.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
it was so
Yes.
funny. It was like you've done exactly the same thing. One's actually releasing with a big cry, one's releasing with a laughter, and it was like,
Yep.
but look how you're laying. It was like it was
I
just
know.
so perfect.
Yeah, yeah. I witness that all the time in group sessions where they're going through the exact same exercise. Yeah, and one person could just be like over there having a complete meltdown, and the person's just like in la la land, Like, oh, this is nice. Yeah, there's no right or wrong way to it. And once we remove those barriers or those expectations of the work and completely surrender, that's when, you know, your body just knows what to do, and it can look funny and crazy, but
Yeah, I'm in a crab.
yeah.
I'm
Yes.
twisted.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I've gotten some good stretches in. Like I've done stretches like in my own healing sessions where I'm like, I didn't even know I could move that way. What is happening right now? Or like crack my back, or like I feel like I'm giving myself a chiropractic session. It's
Yeah,
fascinating what the body is
yeah,
capable of.
it really is. And when the innate is activated, and then it's in
Yeah.
free flow, it's beautiful. It really
Mm-hmm.
is. So tell us a little bit about how did you get into spinal energetics, considering you're in Colorado and
Yeah.
Sarah Jane's in Australia? How did you connect with her? What did you do?
I was scrolling on Instagram. I saw a video and I knew immediately, yep, this is what I meant to do. There was no doubt in my mind. I immediately applied. I got accepted, went to LA, got the course, was with Dr. Sarah Jane, and she's actually on my podcast too. If you really want to hear from her words on the
Yeah,
work
she's
itself.
incredible.
Yeah, she is an incredible human being. And yeah, I just like it just began to unfold from there. And then I complement it with breath work and energy healing, intuitive energy healing, sometimes a little bit of hypnotherapy, just to really help somebody sink into their body, especially if they're stuck, or, a lot of people struggle to get into that altered state of consciousness, that meditative state where the healing happens. So, really helping them surrender to that and release any control. But yeah, I mean, a social media reel.
Yeah,
That's how I found the work. That's how I got into it.
yeah, it's amazing. Now you're helping so many people as well. It just shows you
Yeah.
one choice. If you hadn't been scrolling, it might have been a later time because obviously it's part of your path, but that one specific moment, and all of a sudden,
Mm.
boom, it just lights you up. Oh, yes. No, I
Yes.
sort of had that with a bit of breath work. The first very session, I just knew.
Uh huh.
Very
Yeah.
first, like big major holotropic shamanic session, because it was so fun and it was so playful. I was just like, I absolutely love this.
Yes. Yes. You just know. Like,
Yeah.
and I invite everybody listening to this, like, listen to what feels good, what feels expansive, what just lights you up, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is freaking sweet. Follow that, follow that. And, a lot of people will get that, but then their ego gets in the way. Like, oh, I don't know, like, I can't afford that, or I don't know if I can do that, like the imposter syndrome sneaks in, and then the doubt creeps in. It just, listen to that. Listen to that. Your
If you're
higher
being
self will
drawn
lead
to
the way.
if you're
Hmm.
being drawn to something, there's a reason. It's like
Yeah.
this morning, I had quantum jumping come on, and I think one of the first things you said was about quantum jumping or something. Literally
Oh, yeah.
early on, I was like, "There's
Yeah.
twice in one day."
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, the
So,
quantum leap. Hmm.
mm, yeah, tell me a little bit about this, because this is a really fascinating, interesting subject. I've been playing with this for the last couple of weeks.
The
Uh,
quantum leaping?
yeah, constantly. We've been playing for the last
Yeah.
couple of weeks, and I've known about it for a long while, but I've never really delved into it as much. But the last
Yeah.
couple of
I'll be
weeks,
honest, I haven't either.
yeah, it's one of those. It's
Yeah.
like I see a thing it was like a Mind Valley advert this morning. So the guy who actually invented quantum jumping, he's an 80-year-old guy now, but he'll go off onto like a meditation, go into another parallel universe, and then he'll learn how to play the piano, and he'll literally
Wow.
come back within 4 weeks. He's like his master, or he's really good at playing the piano. It's like, I just call back in what I want and absorb what I want to do. Then he become a painter, then become a photographer. So he's 80 odd years of age. He become a web designer and selling
Wow.
programs all on the internet, making millions. I'm like, this is incredible. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so
Yeah.
for those that don't know, it's like quantum jumping. The quantum field holds everything. So
Yeah.
anything we want to create, we just have to match our energy to that. And
Hmm.
everything vibrates and is here and now.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and we shift through billions of realities every second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching a thing with Bashar. Do you ever watch Bashar?
I haven't yet, no,
No,
but I've
Bashar.
heard. Yeah.
So there's a guy called Daryl Anker that channels this divine master that comes through, that brings knowledge and wisdom and powerful energy into the world to really
Cool.
take us to the next level. So his teachings are phenomenal. But yeah, he was talking about every second we are shifting through billions and parallels of universes.
Oh, yeah.
But each choice is a different parallel
Hmm.
universe, multiverse, through the multiverse. And it was like, if you want a healthy body, you just have to shift yourself to that reality where your body is
Yeah.
already healed.
Hmm.
Said healing is,
100%.
yeah, and he said healing is just about, if you come to me for a session, or I come to you for a spinal energetic session, I agree to shift my energy and into that vibration that I am
Yeah.
healed during and after the session, I will be healed.
Hmm. Yeah. Yes. I mean, I've quantum leaped so many times in my life, and I look back and like, what exactly did I do in those
Mhm.
moments, right? And I'll use business as an example. Like, I remember I was right around like 4 or 5K months. This was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And I had the goal, I want to make my first $20,000 month. But fear and doubt just kept getting in the way. And then I just remember waking up one day and I was like, I just was so sick of it. When you're just so sick of it, you're like, enough's enough. And you just make that choice. Like, I'm just going to push right through it. When you make that choice, magical things begin to happen, because at that moment I woke up and I was somebody else I've never met before. Like, the way I walked, the way I talked, the way that I moved around and took action, things just shifted right then and there. And I was embodying this version of me who already had it, right? The 20K month, yeah. Okay, what's behind that number? Why 20K month? And it's usually because of a feeling. You want 20K months because of financial freedom. You want that feeling of feeling free and no stress and no worry about money, or because the more money you make, the more impact you're making, you're able to help more people. So it's a sense of purpose, or because it just feels freaking good, right? So notice these are all feelings: freedom, purpose, feeling good. You can feel those things right here, right now. You do not need $20,000 months to feel that right now. And so for me,
But
freedom.
20,000 pound
Yeah.
a month, that helps.
Yes. And so I'm like, well, how do I feel freedom in my life right now when I don't have that kind of money? And I'm like, well, I feel free, me personally, when I'm driving down my dirt road with my windows down and no bra on, and I'm jamming out to music, and I'm not saying my titties are like hanging out, but where it's just like that sense of freedom. Yeah, you just feel free and not a care in the world. Or for me, it's sometimes when I go for a hike in nature and there's nobody around, and I'm just I just feel so open and alive. To me, that's freedom, right? Purpose. When I see and make a difference in somebody's life, how do I feel good? By doing things that light me up. I love going out to eat with my friends. I love just Netflixing and chilling sometimes. I love cooking sometimes, just really stepping into feel good activities for yourself, going for a walk with your dog, getting outside and letting the sun hit your skin, and just being completely present and aware of that. And that is what, to me, has quantum leaped me in business multiple times.
Amazing. It's so interesting, especially it's you had that moment. You had that clarity. You could feel something shifted within you.
Mm-hmm.
And it all comes down to the feelings of what we can feel right now.
Mm-hmm.
What am I grateful for right now is exactly the same feeling of having that £20,000 a month.
Yes. Yes. The key is when you make your first $20,000 a month, are you going to freak out, or you be like, just another day, right? If you can get to that point and it just you're already familiar with that feeling, that's how you know. But if you're freaking out, when you win the lottery, you're like, oh my God, you're freaking out. And that's why so many people end up, losing all the money. Yeah. So the key is to feel it as if it's happening right here, right now. So when it does happen, you're like, yeah, I know. I knew it was going to happen all along. Yeah.
Now I'm going for 30, 40.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yep.
It's not get greedy though. Mind you, we are infinite, abundant beings. So why not?
Mm-hmm.
You are an unlimited creator. So why not?
Why not?
I clear, delete, and release my limiting belief there.
Yes. Yes.
I clear that. I release that. I rebuke it. I reject it. I reject it. I reject it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. The only thing stopping you from your desires is fear and doubt.
Yeah.
And the moment you make that conscious decision, nope, I'm going to get this. And then if you, are very aware of when doubt comes in, when fear comes in, just be aware of it. And maybe have a spinal energetics or a breathwork session to move through that and allow that to be felt within you so that you can release it, Yeah.
Perfect. So tell us a little bit about your practice there in Colorado.
Yes. Yeah. So I
see some of your videos, it looks like you've got mountains in the background.
Yeah, I do. Yes,
and
I'm in Colorado.
I think that's what attracted me to your work. I was just like, oh my God, imagine having a session in there. It just looks so magical. Just these beautiful mountains in the background.
Yes.
Very,
yes.
very blessed.
Yep. I'm up here. Up here in Colorado, in the mountains. I live 4 miles down this long dirt road. So most people would think I live in the middle of nowhere, the closest grocery store is 20 minutes away, but I freaking love it. It's just my sanctuary. It's serenity here. And people drive hours to come see me, from the city and
Wow.
just yeah,
So beautiful, so
they absolutely love
powerful.
it. Hmm.
To be fair, it's one of those, it's like, I think I would too.
Yeah,
If I had someone I know who lives on the mountain and did amazing energetic work, I'd be like, when
yes.
can I come?
Come on over. Come on over. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a funny, well, I shouldn't say funny, but the house here, there's a big story behind it and how it came about to be. We
tell
moved
us.
up here a few years ago, sold everything but our dream house. And this is when business was like peak, just like freaking crushing it. And then, literally, in a blink of an eye, a wildfire came through and burned down everything. It burned down our dream house. I was actually home when the fire was here and nearly
Wow.
lost my life. Me and my dog just barely got out. Car broke down on the side of the road because of trees hitting it, trying to escape. But yeah,
Wow, it sounds like
this
something out of a movie.
everybody, yeah, my story was all over the news. It was pretty
Wow.
wild time. And, speaking of like deep somatic healing, that's when my journey really began. I had my first like ayahuasca experience, which told me I'm supposed to be a healer and all these things. And so a lot of beautiful, beautiful things came out of it, as well as this beautiful house that I'm in now. My husband and I rebuilt it ourselves. It was during COVID, so building costs skyrocketed. So we were dramatically underinsured, and so we're like, well, let's just rebuild it ourselves. And we built it bigger and better. And yeah, it's just like there's so much healing. Like, it's the phoenix here, like people come here and they can feel the rebirth. They can feel like that sense of just like, wow. Like they just feel good. People walk through the doors and they tell me all the time I feel at home.
Yeah, I love that. That's
Mhm.
very, very powerful. Tell us a little bit more about what actually happened during that time. What started it? What?
Yeah, so they don't really know what started it. They think they were hunters because it was the month of October here, hunting season, and they just didn't put their campfire out completely, and the winds picked up. And then it started out as a pretty small forest fire. And then 4 or 5 days later, the winds picked up, and it was the perfect storm. And fastest wildfire in history. It literally happened so fast. It burned thousands or hundreds of acres. I can't remember the exact amount, but I was never evacuated. And so coincidentally, my husband's a firefighter. He was on shift, but he works in a different district, but he was keeping an eye on it, and I was on Zoom work calls all day, and I wasn't even like paying attention. And finally looked down at my phone, and I just like see all of these missed notifications of like, Amanda, where are you? Where's Jackson, our dog? And I'm like, what's going on? So like, they're like, the fire, it's like coming to the house. I'm like, what? And so I was like in town. I ran home, still no evacuation. I just start packing like a mad woman, just like throwing stuff everywhere. But the smoke was so bad. I just the quick little trip from the house to the car, like I was coughing like crazy. So I got like 2 bags in, one full of clothes, the other full of shoes. So I always joke, I'm like, well, I lost everything, but I still have my shoes. But yeah, yeah, I just remember we have these big windows in our house, and I just so happen to look up and I see my neighbor's house on fire. And all I could see through all the smoke and fire and the flames was their chimney. And I just remember looking at my dog like, oh, fuck, I gotta go. And I ran so fast. I ran over all of my packed bags. I left all of my lights on, the doors wide open, ran into my car. My dog just like went into survival mode and just went down below the smoke and was just laying there. I had to pick him up, throw him in my car, and I just freaking floored it. And then that's when the real adventure began, because I was going down that hill.
That's when the real adventure began.
Yeah, that wasn't enough. So now I'm like literally driving through the fire, trees. It's so hot. There's trees falling down everywhere. There's roots being like, the winds were so crazy. Like trees were literally being lifted, like
Wow.
40-foot trees, like roots and everything lifting in the air and like throwing across, like just poof. Like this fire was so intense. Like wildfires can create their own storms. So there's like fire tornadoes happening. Like it was just intense. So like one of the trees, I'm like dodging them, and then one of them hits my front bumper, and all the branches go up and through my engine and through my radiator. Somehow my car just kept going, and it just far enough where it was away from the fire, and then it broke down on the side of the road. Then my husband came to rescue me shortly after that, thank God. But yeah, I mean, talk about PTSD after that. I just, just anything, loud noises, because it sounded like a train was coming. And I was like, so any loud noises would trigger me. Just a small little candle lit would trigger me. Feeling wind, because there was wind, would trigger me. Like I would go literally into just like severe panic attacks, like survival mode, right? So yeah, that's when the healing journey really began. But at that point, I had a really strong healing foundation of how to be aware of it and what to do. So thank goodness, where people could hold on to that for many, many years, I was able to work through it in less than a year. And yeah, it's such a beautiful thing, because without that, I don't think I'd be where I'm at today because of it. In the space that I'm in the healing. Yeah.
It shows you as well that knowing tools gets you through things, gets you through trauma a lot quicker. But it sounds like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
Just the vision of you driving, having hit
oh my gosh,
radiator. Crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I feel like someday maybe a movie will be written about my life story, because there's so many more stories I could share. Oh man. I wish.
What else has happened in your life that has helped you become the person you are today?
Oh gosh, I'll just summarize, just because this could take forever, and I do have to jump on a client call here soon. But but growing up in a family of 10 kids, I grew up Catholic, very religious, church every day. Sexual trauma as a child from the age of 3. I've been in jail before.
You don't look the time. You don't look the time.
We'll just have to have another episode or something where I can just
definitely.
I've got stories.
This is a cliffhanger. We need right here, right now.
Yes.
This is a cliffhanger. Everyone, thank you for joining us today, and Amanda, thank you for your beautiful stories. This is cliffhanger. Yeah. We welcome you back for round 2 very, very soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
And, thank you for sharing your beautiful story, absolutely inspiring, and all of the work that you're doing as well. So how can people get in contact with you? How can people connect with you? Please let us know.
So I'm definitely most active on Instagram. Come say hi. That is at Agape _holistic _healing. And send me a voice note. Love to chat it up and just get to know you some more. My website's agapeholistichealing.com. Those are the 2 best ways to reach out. And if you want to book a spinal energetic sessions, all my links are there on my website or Instagram.
Amazing. Thank you for your beautiful energy.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best with your business. I look forward to connecting with you soon. Guys, everyone, this is the Pure Breathwork podcast. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your beautiful attention. And please share this with anyone who would benefit from this amazing session as well. So with love, with blessings.
Thank you so much.
And so it is. Many blessings, everyone. Big love. Peace.